Hey everybody, Happy New Year. This is Digital Sticks here, and a little bit of a different avatar than normal. This is the avatar that I'm currently using for Quest compatibility. It wasn't, I like the avatar, but it's not like my choice for my main, other than favorites were messed up in VRChat, so took the time to actually track down some that I'd want to use and couldn't favorite them, so I haven't gone back to redo that. But uh, anyways, again, I just want to say Happy New Year, and I'm coming to you from the Karaoke Central in VR chat, and point out what they're highlighting there. That if you take on your settings on a Quest, and really every device, but on a Quest especially, and allow the untrusted URLs, then you can use this world on a Quest, and these links that start the songs via YouTube videos are going to play YouTube videos right here on the screen for you, even on your Quest. So you can actually use this world. There's also movie worlds that actually work with Quest using the same situation. So I don't know the background behind that. I don't know if that's just a workaround to allow video players to play, or if it's only working because of the actual links to specific media, like these songs here, or in the case of testing it in that movie world, it was working because of the movies. I selected movies from a menu. I didn't actually attempt to put in a URL. But anyways, for myself, uh, I've slowed down on content just because I was being so. Most of my content was kind of negative about VR tech that other people are very positive about, and while I still stand by my opinions on that, and I feel like it was kind of necessary to take that approach. That's not the most exciting way to make content, is to just constantly be cynical about going against the grain. So anyways, there's not a whole lot more to be said about that. At least not constantly. But the reason for this video and the reason I'm in here is because what I did discover this week was just how great karaoke can be in VR. And so and that reminded me once again just how great VR is in and of itself. I have never sang karaoke before in my life, and I now have put in about 4 days doing it. As a matter of fact, I've rarely even sang out loud, period, and certainly to popular songs. Like, I'm going in karaoke and finding out I've sung songs my entire life wrong, and that trips me up a little bit sometimes to get the real lyrics. But yeah, I've ended up, I like the way it's just kind of a group thing for the most part with VR karaoke in most occasions. But I did find myself singing some solos and everything, and nobody that knows me in real life ever has known me as a singer, unless they're going back to when I was a kid, perhaps. So it's been pretty phenomenal, and I don't have a full range. I've got this lower range. I don't know how much could come to me by actually singing. I don't know if I'll get better. I hope so, because it's a lot more fun to actually feel like I'm actually doing a song justice. I'm not saying I don't feel like I've just nailed it, that my record deal's around the corner, but I've actually done it justice. I feel like it's a fair thing. So that makes those songs even more fun for me when it's actually one that I feel kind of good about. And so I've discovered I can do a lot of Guns N' Roses, can do a lot of Pink Floyd, a lot of Southern rock, stuff like that. The lower range works out pretty good on some of those. Pink Floyd kind of had some whispery stuff going on too that worked out. Anyways, just a lot of fun. I was really impressed. I even got some compliments. So, I mean, and for me, I'm just grateful that VR gave me a place to do it where I can enjoy myself and not be preoccupied by anything that, I don't see myself ever. I don't see where I ever would have just jumped up on a stage and did karaoke at a real bar or anything like that. I've known about the Worlds in VR chat. I've been present while some other people initiated the Worlds, and I've never participated in the past. So I actually was checking out big screen beta on the Quest, trying to look for ways, trying to test something out to see if I can find a way. I have bad internet at home, so I've got DSL, and then my fiance's got good internet, but she doesn't have a PC. So I was trying to find a way that we could potentially watch some movies together in VR. So through big screen, by using the Quest, I could use the Shadow PC that I have rented, and then that way she could see a high quality stream and I could see whatever I could get at my end, and it was actually going to be a remote PC in between us streaming the movie. That's what I thought I had to do, but what has worked for me better than big screen with my DSL has been streaming movies in VR chat. I've been able to do that just fine, but I didn't think that was an option for her on Quest, and lo and behold, I found out it was. And I found that out. So here's the way that all worked out. I went into big screen, testing out this theory and trying to get that to work. Ended up in a karaoke world or room, and just caught at the right time to get inspired to, like, I found myself testing myself while muted, and then I was like, it's kind of working, and then went for it and just ended up spending hours in there doing karaoke for my first time ever. And now many more hours. That's the way I spent my New Year's Eve after my son went to sleep tonight. And it's been great. And there's a lot of people drinking for New Year's. I didn't drink a drop. I didn't need to. I didn't want to. It's like I'm having a good time without any need for that. I mean, this was an absolute great time. I didn't need any alcohol to make it any better. And there's no reason to risk feeling worse in the morning. I'm not judging anybody for the way they partied down or whatever, but I mean, that's how much fun I was having. It wasn't even, last year I was doing a lot of clubbing in VR chat over the winter break, and that was refreshing and resetting for me. And I did pick up some alcohol. I didn't go crazy with it the entire stretch, but I did let loose for like a week or two. I can't afford to drink that much. I don't know how people do it, but so I have an index. People don't know how to buy an index, and I don't know how they afford to drink, and that's probably why I have an index and they can afford to drink. Maybe it's like that. But anyways, so I did do a little bit of drinking there, and it did enhance it, and I did have to kind of adjust to enjoying the environment as much when I quit drinking. I say quit drinking as anyways, once the alcohol ran out and I wasn't going to buy any more, then I was like, okay, I had to actually settle into some of the good times I was having completely sober all the way through, and I was able to do it. It was VR experiences are that good. You do not need to be drunk in VR to have a good time. A lot of people do it, and at least they can drink safely and be in VR and have that good time. So I mean, I'm not judging them for that, but you don't even need that. A lot of what people drink to get over doesn't even translate into VR. Your social anxieties and inhibitions, they don't need to come with you into VR anyways. And if you can adjust to that, you could probably find yourself not as inclined to drink for a good time and instead just have a good time. Again, not judging, not trying to lecture on that. But that's for me. I dance in VR chat. I don't dance in real life. The only times I've danced in real life involved being heavily influenced by substances before and then I knew I was doing a bad job. I had to get to the point that I didn't care what it looked like in order to actually experience it. And it was still fun, but that wasn't a sustainable way to take up dancing on a regular basis. And I didn't dance very good, but at least in VR chat, I was actually, not only am I dancing and not having to be under the influence of anything to do so, but I'm able to improve on it. I'm able to learn new tricks and experiment and by dancing with other people and being comfortable with it, learn things from them. I even took the time to look at some YouTube lessons. Some simple pointers go a long ways towards taking generic white boy moves and turning them into something semi-respectable for dance events. But that was one of the coolest things I found that was basically what I got into doing most of the time in VR chat when I discovered that. Well, now I've discovered this karaoke, and that's kind of been mostly what I'm doing, because those are just such they're just such incredible experiences, and they're social, they're fun, and it really is a place where VR is making something possible for me that wasn't really a practical option or consideration for me in real life. I mean, I would have never discovered, you know, the excitement of it. Like, there was nothing compelling me to push myself into any kind of karaoke. Basically, VR allowed me to discover it by accident. Okay, so then the other thing I want to point out on that is, I discovered that there are options for video players in VR chat for Quest users, which is really cool. So a little bit later, I'm planning to make some content on the Quest itself again, Quest and Quest 2. And I want to make sure that I counter some of what I've said before, because I'm not anti-Quest. I'm not trying to say the device itself is junk. I'm not a fan of it as a PCVR headset, but especially with the Quest 2 as a standalone device, it's pretty stout. It's pretty cool, and VR itself is worth having. And so, you know, yeah, I'm not a fan of Facebook's accounts being required and all of that, but it is a reasonable way to get people into VR in a very meaningful VR experience, a rather full one. And then now, even here in VR chat, you can watch movies. You can't use the players as freely in all worlds, but if a world's set up for it, there is at least some movies that can be played in some worlds, and the songs here in the karaoke world also work. So I'm going to do a little bit more investigating on that. It may be possible that some video players, I'm going to try to find out more about what's actually making that work. But in the meantime, you know, I've been looking and using the Quest more to find out what experiences are possible for me and my fiance, and that's allowed me to pay a little bit more attention again. And I can tell you that I've been in some crowded worlds with Quest 2 users. I've been in worlds where I'm the only Quest 2 user and all of that, and they're definitely they definitely seem to be performing better. So some people still complain about them. Other people haven't had any problems at all. But just to see how many people were in there and how long they stayed in and everything else, it definitely appears that they are having a rather solid experience instead of being half as laggy as they were with the original. So not a scientific study, not an actual direct comparison, but just based on the Quest users I'm encountering in the game, they definitely seem to be having a more solid experience. And most Quest users are on the Quest 2. So that says something too. I mean, obviously it's a newer device or whatever, but it still says something that, you know, the people that had the original Quest have either upgraded, or they're using Link now. They didn't really stick with just the Quest nearly as much as this new influx of Quest 2 users are. So expect to see that in VR chat, more Quest users. And I'm going to touch on this with some more content, but I want to point out that this is actually a positive thing. The biggest downside that I always felt happened with the Quest version of the game was the confusion it created for people that want VR for VR chat. And so somebody that can get a gaming PC should still get a gaming PC for this game, if at all possible, and don't think that the Quest replaces that for VR chat, because it doesn't. But it is a pretty capable standalone game. It is a worthwhile VR experience, and it does have benefits over only being a desktop. So depending on your friends group and the world you're wanting to hang out in and all of that, the standalone VR chat now with a Quest 2 is very useful. And now I'm actually still working with the original Quest and finding good quality experiences with that for my fiance and I. So that's still a viable option too, but the Quest 2 has taken the performance a step further and made that, you know, so now you've got the same scaled back features, but now you have a more solid, steady performance, which makes it more enjoyable all the way around. So I digress. It's really late right now. It's the first day of the year, and I need to get shut down. But this is the main point right now, is that if you have a Quest and you're using it standalone, there are worlds where you can take advantage of some video players in the world. and this is one. You can come in here. You can actually do karaoke. And then the other point I want to get into, and I shared a little bit, was basically, again, rediscovering just how fun VR could be. That's why I was talking about the karaoke. Tonight, VR chat, as most people know, was down for quite some time. And VR chat being down on New Year's Eve is like Walmart across the country being closed on Black Friday. I mean, this was like, this is probably like the most important day out of the year to have VR chat access for a lot of people, because it is possible to, there's major event. Anyways, New Year's Eve just lends itself to a good turnout for VR chat, and it was a shame it was down. And that's where, discovering the karaoke where I did, I actually was able to, once the world for this karaoke, once a good world went live with the karaoke in big screen beta, I was able to go there and log in and get in and enjoy karaoke. And they're not, in that, when you have somebody hosting it and they're taking requests, they're not limited to just what's been pre-selected on the wall. So even with the big selection that this world has for songs, I mean, these are all, every square you see is a song. That's a pretty big selection. But even bigger than that is the freedom to look up any song you want to on YouTube. So that's what can be done in the big screen beta. And then the other thing, advantage that it has, there was one more I was going to mention. It works out. Like in this world, I've started this world with, I like to start this world with just creating a new public instance, no restrictions whatsoever, and just let it grow. And I've already done that once, and it became a fully packed world for hours on end. And the beginning of that was really some solid karaoke involvement, and then it kind of degraded towards the end. The original group that kind of grew had mostly moved on, so it degraded. But started off really good. One thing also with that was when you're playing rock songs and you're karaoke into them, these guitar props are just really fun to have. So, and then there's mic props too, but the guitars have gravity. They hit the ground. The mics have no gravity. I want to be able to do a mic drop. I really do. There's been more than once I wish this would just hit the ground. And there's been times where the guitar actually hitting the ground is kind of a struggle. If you're trying to really act like you're jamming out, if the guitar would just stay in place, that could give you some options. But anyways, not a big deal. That's really fun. That's an extra element here. And of course, it's VR chat as well. But what was fun, or what one advantage I've seen in big screen is, in big screen you move around kind of by teleporting. It's not really fluid. It's not really, moving around a whole lot is not very convenient. But you can, so you can move around enough to serve its purposes of moving, but you're not just freely running around. Well, for the karaoke, that's actually fine. That's actually good. It kind of keeps it keeps the whole event like sustainable and normal. Like where this world, especially in a public instance or whatever, can really start to degrade. In big screen beta, it doesn't really degrade because people aren't in there. People aren't goofing off crazy like that. Like you can, like some of us with play space movers and stuff, we can float around and clown around a little bit, but it's just not the same thing. It's actually the karaoke aspect of it still becomes the main thing. So you have to have somebody hosting it, somebody that's able to hosting it, to take requests and all of that. So, but tonight that was available and up and running, and VR chat wasn't. So it was good to discover it there, and I only discovered it there by checking out the Quest for other reasons. And anyways, I'm getting tired right now, a little too tired to continue to make good points here. But Happy New Year, and hopefully this will help somebody with the the URL thing. Come check out This World, the Karaoke Central, and I think the other one is Yet Another VR Theater, is the other one I confirmed it working on. But now that I know that that works, then Karita's rooftop movies also probably works as well. I just haven't tested it yet with Quest. I've known it's been considered a crossplay world for quite some time, but that didn't necessarily mean that they had a way to have the movies work. So if that works too, I mean, that's some solid additional potential for the Quest and for Quest users. And so that's definitely a good thing. And anyways, I gotta wrap this up, but I will be sharing some more along these lines in the near future. A lot of it's just really good food for thought, things to consider, maybe to help get a happier or perspective on basically the state of VR, and that's about it. So yeah, I'm definitely too tired to keep doing this, but gosh, before I mess this up, I'm going to wrap it up. And thank you for watching. If you like content that's just real, basically, and straightforward and as honest as I know to make it, please subscribe and like this video. It'll help out. And I'll get back on this subject as soon as I can, but I want to... VR is great. So as I counter different pieces of technology or whatever, I want to make sure that that's not detracting from the fact that VR itself is great and it's actually worth trying to get it right to begin with. So again, thank you, and I am out.